when we go on holiday, but that's exactly what happened to our next guest, whose life changed on a trip to Morocco. He had a highly successful career as a publisher, enjoyed a carefree lifestyle, and at 44 had given up on finding love. In 2005, she travelled to Morocco to do some research for a new novel, and while there, she met Abdel. Described by Jane as having a kingly air and brilliant dark eyes, sparks flew between the two of them. Despite Abdel not being able to speak any English, Jane spoke a little French, and after she left Morocco, the two began getting to know each other over the phone. To the surprise of her friends and family, just 6 months later, Jane returned to Morocco, where she and Abdel were married. Well, Jane Johnson joins me now, 7 years down the line, all fine?
It's wonderful.
Good.
Best decision I ever made.
I'm so glad to hear that, because we do hear of so many stories of this going horribly wrong for whatever reason. And it's so refreshing to actually find that, you know, both of you fell in love almost instantly, I think.
It was instant.
Yeah.
It was a proper coup de foudre. Yeah, my French is so much better than it was.
Big thunderbolt.
It was.
Yeah.
Thunderbolt.
Which is great. And did you just know instantly, both of you?
I think so. Yeah. I didn't know what it was. I knew it was significant.
Yeah.
But it was quite extraordinary. You made just a jolt of recognition of somebody that you knew you were going to get on with.
God, that's amazing. Because especially as there's a language barrier, clearly. Because he couldn't speak English. You had a bit of French.
Yeah, I did French at school.
Yeah, so you were able to communicate. But
it was rubbish.
Well, it was enough. So it was okay.
But it's interesting for me because I've made my life in words, and so I didn't realise that language could work in other ways.
Yeah.
And so to have it work so well in other ways is extraordinary. It's a lesson.
No, it's incredible. How long did it take you, though, from that first meeting to that big thunderbolt to actually getting married?
6 months.
Gosh, that's quick.
It was quick.
Yeah.
It was, but we did a lot of talking over the phone. Every
Right.
night we spoke to one another by phone.
Right.
And with our dictionaries by our sides.
And you got here and you managed to get there. What was the reaction from both sides, from their, his friends and family and your friends and family? How did they both feel?
Well, initially a bit concerned on my side of things, because it's not every day you go to Morocco and come back saying I've fallen in love.
No.
And of course people worry for you.
Yeah, you just come back with a souvenir, but maybe not not with such a lovely souvenir as you had. But generally they realised how happy you were.
Well, people know who I am,
Yeah.
and that I'm not a little girl, and I know my own mind. And I was so sure as well. And as soon as they started talking to him on the phone as well, and hearing my stories about him, I think they were really,
Absolutely, because it is a difficult one, because we have, you're not. This wasn't a story of somebody wanting to come to Britain to live and get a passport and get all of that. It was nothing, because we've heard those terrible stories, and it's such a shame. But this was so not that at all, because he's a businessman, and he's got his own restaurant. He's very, very happy in his own country.
No, exactly, and it's a very equal relationship, and that's what makes it work. We were both the same age, and so we split our time, 6 months here, 6 months there.
Right. So, gosh, you must have very different lives then. So when you're there, I mean, do you help out with the restaurant, and do you help out with what's going on?
Well, occasionally. It's quite busy being a writer and a publisher.
Yeah.
But yes, I do peel vegetables.
There you are. We have photographic proof.
There I am.
I'm sure some of your friends would love that picture.
Berber housewife. Yes, they won't have seen me in that mode very often.
I'll be giving them a good laugh.
I'm extremely undomesticated usually.
So you've got that life there, and then over here as well. But of course, being a writer, because the new book, which is The Sultan's Wife, which was partly research when you went over there, wasn't it?
That was the reason that I went out, was to research a novel about Barbary pirates stealing people from the Cornish coast in the 17th century.
Right.
And they sold them into the slave markets in North Africa. And it was a piece of history that people didn't really know very much about. But over the course of 200 years, nearly 1 million Europeans were sold into the white slave trade, which is quite extraordinary.
You don't hear about that. You absolutely don't.
And I had an ancestor taken in the raid on Mounts Bay in 1625. And so that was what I wrote the first book about. And then this second book has also got a woman who's been taken by the Corsairs and sold into the slave trade, and being blonde and fair, expensive, so it ends up in the Sultan's harem.
Sounds very interesting and intriguing. It really does. What a great setup, though, because you've got, when you go over there, that's when you can research and you can work and you can do. And if you're a writer, you can write anywhere, really.
Exactly.
It's fine.
And as a publisher as well, because I'm working electronically.
Of course.
All the time. So actually, that sort of flexibility is very, very good for clearing your head. And also, as a writer, it's wonderful because you're an observer. And and actually to having something new to observe and a new culture to learn. It really is a wonderful way of learning about the new country that you're in. And it's a fantastic country, Morocco. You have to visit.
I know, I have not been, but it's on my list of things to do. And that's on my list of things to do as well.
Camel riding.
Great. You really seem to have sorted it. You know, you really do seem to have sorted it. You've got it all, you seem to have it sorted.
Well, it's a good contrast.
Yeah.
It's not without its problems
Of course
from time to time, but it does make for a very, very nice contrast. And also to live in a culture where money is not the be-all and end-all of life is actually a very good contrast.
I think I would say that you're a happy and contented woman.
Yes,
Which is a
rare
lovely
thing
to be. I mean, so we all aspire to be. Good luck with the Sultan's Wife, Jane. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Right after the break, I'm going to be talking to actress Mira Ciel about her latest movie.